Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Jabbie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, dear. Good, good. Thank you for being on with me this morning and with us, I
Well,
should
thank you. Thanks for having me.
say. So, guys, you guys ready? Oh, we have Jabbie. Yes, we do. Let's see who's in the chat. First one is my beautiful, beautiful angel soul, Bonnie. Good morning. Good morning, Ashley. How are you, honey? Good morning. My twisty Ronnie. Guess what? So I'm also interviewing Ronnie too. I will be interviewing Ronnie, so that's going to be epic as well. Everybody's epic. I love it. I get so excited. And guess look, we got Jabbie in the house. Jabbie is here. So yeah, who else? Who else? Oh, that popped up really fast. And we have Anna. Good morning, Anna. How are you, honey? And we got 710 oil upside down. Good morning. And Suzette. Good morning, Suzette. How are you? And Countess April. Good morning, Countess April. How are you, dear? Countess April is going to have an auction tonight at 6:30.
Oh,
Yeah. So make sure you set your reminders. So we're just going to like chit chat just for a little bit until we get more people coming in. Um, I usually like to start it when there's like around 20 people, so um, that we have a steady crowd.
okay.
Everyone's saying good morning to each other. So, really quick, I know we're going to really get into it in a little bit, but what's going on tomorrow? What's going on with basically what's going on with your channel and what's going on tomorrow?
Uh, so the channel and just in general, trying to build the channel like everyone else. Um, Tomorrow, and most of it is so my channel has it's kind of two components, and tomorrow is a one off or a different series, if you will. I'm a reseller, and my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, is amazing at crocheting. So I always say she can out crochet any old lady any day. Um, but she's making some wonderful stuff, and so channel will be the reselling our homemade goods from her. And tomorrow we are interviewing the founder and owner of uh, a sensory gym for those with autism and disabilities called Bring on the Spectrum. BOTS, Bring on the Spectrum, and that's at 7 o'clock tomorrow on my channel. And it's to raise awareness, talk about bots, bring awareness to bots, bring awareness to autism. Uh, the owner, the founder and owner, and us here at home are all parents of an autistic child or children. So that's the reason behind that. And what Lisa is her name, and what she is doing with bots and what she has done. They had their grand opening last weekend, I think. And to see the old facility with that was it's a warehouse type facility transferred and transformed into this amazing gym is just amazing. So she's really doing well, and it's great for the community.
That's awesome. Awesome. And then we have Glenn that just came in. Good morning, Glenn. Okay, so tonight it's going to be an open panel night on Countess April. So anyone would like to join, definitely reach out to April. Um, I know that she'd be more than happy to have anyone on her panel to sell. And then we have Douglas. Good morning, Douglas. How are you? Janine. Hey, beautiful Janine. How are you?
Hi, Janine.
Who else? Did anyone else come in? Ah, my beautiful Pam. Good morning,
And Pam.
Pam. Amazing. All right. So far we're good. I've caught up with everyone, and let me go through a couple of things here. Um, is it? Yep. A reminder to everyone: Big Barn is giving away that 500. If you don't know about it, make sure you go drop a comment on his past videos, every video that you put a comment on, it's one more chance to winning the 500 once he reaches 1,000 subscribers. He also has to guess the money that's in the jar. But you can only comment once a week. I made a mistake and I put 2 on one video, and I thought I was doing 2 separate videos, so 2 different weeks. So, oh boy, I made a mistake. I was disqualified this week. That was awful, but it was an honest mistake. And then we have Origami Folder. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Jennifer Hayes. Good morning, Jennifer, my beautiful Jennifer of the jungle. Have I missed anyone else? I don't think so. No. All right. So right now we have 17. Let's start here. And if anybody else comes in, I will definitely I'll say hi to you at the end. How's that? All right. So Jabbie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So for everyone to know, I have no idea really what we're talking about. I'm more than happy to come on and discuss things. And so this is a little surprise for me as to what Susana might ask me. So if my reactions are going to be 100% real, because I don't know what she's coming at me with. So.
Nothing bad. Hey, UFC. Good morning. And Pamela's here. Good morning, Pamela. Mwah. Good morning. So, Jabbie, tell me, where are you from?
I live in upstate New York, in the capital region near Albany.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a New Yorker. I've been a New Yorker for life. And the last 20 some years I've been here near Albany. So.
Nice. So you were born in New York?
I was, yeah.
Oh, wow. And your wife, is she from New York as well?
Yep, she's a lifelong New Yorker, and we grew up about 3 hours from each other, and of course didn't know each other. But.
So how were you as a child in school?
How was I as a child in school? I was an A student, of course. Mm. I was an A student. I went to a small school, but so we had a lot of opportunities to participate in sports and participate in the plays and everything, because we just didn't have the people to. And so that was great. I played sports, never went any further than high school in sports because, but I played sports. I was an A student in high school.
What kind of sports did you play?
I was more basketball and a little bit of baseball.
Oh, wow. So how tall are you?
6'1".
Okay. Well, for me, that's like a big giant. So. Now, after high school, did you go to college?
I did. I went to culinary school right after high school.
Really?
See, there's those reactions. I went to culinary school, and it was great. But it's also one of those things where every night, weekend, and holiday, you're working. And that's when your family wants to be with you, and that's when so I switched gears after I graduated there.
Okay. Now, where did you go for culinary school? Did you go over abroad?
No, I was at Johnson & Wales in Rhode Island.
Oh, right next door to me.
Yeah.
So cool. A lot of people go to Johnson & Wales. It's an awesome school.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. So after you switched from culinary, what did you do?
So then I came home. I'm in Albany. I went to the University of Albany. I have a degree in geography. And then I have a master's degree in urban planning. And then I worked for a long, long time in that field. And then I went back to school in 2011, and I have a master's degree in public administration from Marist. So.
Whoa.
Yeah. I collect those degrees.
You just collected degrees.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. So, how was it growing up with your parents? Did you have a good family home? Your parents itself. Did you live with both your parents?
Uh, no, just live with my mom from about the age of 6 on. I live. My parents got divorced, and I lived with my mom after that. So
And how was that?
well, it was great. I mean, it's single parent household in the 70s and 80s, so it was of the times, but we did well. I mean, you struggle some, you work through it. That's the just on
Now,
anything.
did you have a close relationship with your dad as
No,
well?
not really.
No.
No,
Are they still alive?
my mom is so. Uh, I don't know about my dad, to be honest. My mom, we live in a house here with an in-law apartment, and my mom lives in the in-law apartment here
Oh,
in the house.
sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really, really nice. And how many children do you have?
two children, boy and girl, 11 and going to be 10. They're 18 months apart. 11 and going to be 10 the end of this month.
Oh, cool. Very, very nice. And um, do you want to speak a little bit about your children?
Sure. Abby's 11. She's in sixth grade, um, and she, she's the sensitive one, but she thrives. We don't have to worry about her with school or homework, or every once in a while we have to remind her to practice her instruments, but um, she's doing fine. And as I kind of mentioned about my channel, she taught herself um, how to crochet by watching YouTube, and she does she just finished a baby blanket, a 34 by 34 baby blanket. It took her about 4 days. Um, she's she's made, and she's gonna laugh if anybody agarumi, something like that. It's where you crochet like stuffed. It looks like stuffed animals, but they're crocheted.
Okay, yeah.
And Ua Crochet, who we know from the chats, is did one for us, and she took it, and she's making. I mean, she has orders, and we're being careful, right? Because she's 11, and it's all going through my stuff. But she's doing some. Somebody ordered 5 bats that like will hang on a end of a coffee cup and hang from a dowel, and you know, she's working on those, and um, she's working on a temperature blanket, which is every day I record the temperature here at home at 12 o'clock noon,
Uh-huh.
and every 10 degrees is a different color. And so, depending on the temperature, she does a line of her blanket that color based on the temperature. And she's got January 1st to December 31st this year, and she's going to have a queen size blanket when she's done. Um, and every line of it will be based on the temperature of that day at noon here at home.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
different.
Um, there's a there's a short video on my channel that kind of goes through. At the end of January, we did a 15-second thing to show kind of the status of it. So that's my daughter. Very proud of her. Very proud of our son. He's 9. He's going to be 10 at the end of the month, as I said. He's in 4th grade. He's the one that has autism, um, and but there really isn't a better kid out there. He wants to please everybody. He is a rule follower. The teachers love him because he doesn't. When they ask him to do something, his response is okay, and he goes and does it every single time. Um, so, uh, you know, he's a video game guy. He likes to watch, which I think a lot of kids do this, and I don't understand it. But he likes to watch people play video games. He doesn't like to play them himself. He'd rather watch others play on YouTube or whatever. YouTube Kids. And he's fascinated by the bosses. Like every video game has a boss that you have to beat at the end of a level or end of the game,
Uh-huh.
and he's fascinated by what level they're at and what their name is, and um, so that's his thing. He's definitely more of a homebody video game type of kid, but wants to please everybody, and that's
Sounds like a
sometimes
sweet soul.
he is absolutely.
Aw. So, what have you learned in your early childhood that helps you? now to cope with life?
Good question. Uh, I think so. hmm, Kind of two things that I remember from childhood that the good guys finish last, but it's still okay to be a good guy, and that's what I worry about with my son because he's definitely just a good guy and wants to do everything, and sometimes it backfires on you. And the other thing, it's just not everything's not fair, and that's okay too. Um, we all talk about hear about that's not fair and that's not fair, and sometimes that's just the way it is, and it has to be okay, and we have to accept that. So those are the things that I think I struggled with as a kid that I've learned to have a better life as an adult. So,
Too bad. Now, is there anything that you used to believe in but you don't anymore?
uh, no, the Easter Bunny still comes here. Uh, the I don't know. I think no, I don't think so. I think I'm just more skeptical, just like any adult would be. I'm more skeptical. I try to find the good, but I know that no matter how hard you look, sometimes it's just not there in some people, and so I don't believe that. This may sound horrible, but I believe there is more bad in the world, on intentionally bad in the world than people want, than other people think. I think and maybe that's just being skeptical, but I try to look for the good, but I understand that it's not always, there isn't a silver lining to everything. So
There isn't a silver line. So, is there anything that's ever happened to you before in your life that you've never told anyone?
I've never told anyone.
Hmm.
Uh, Probably, but if I've never told anyone, I'm not going to tell anyone here.
Well,
So,
now you need to tell us.
uh, no, I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any secrets that I've never told anyone. No, that's
Hmm.
not that I can think of.
So, what has given you the most passion
Hang on, I
in
think I'm
life?
going to turn orange again here, Susana. I don't know why that keeps.
There you go. You're orange.
Yeah, give me just a second. I don't know why it does that. Um, I'm sorry. What am I most passionate about?
Yeah. What are you most passionate about?
Oh, I think the success of my kids is where it falls. It's got to everything I do is to make sure that they're doing well and they're learning. So that's where it is. It's the success of my kids, and you know, I think success is different at different levels, right? Because everyone wants, you think of oh, my kids are going to go to college and have this great job and find a significant other and all this other stuff, and we kind of take it at different levels, like success. Let's get through middle school and elementary school, and there's different things that success means something different to a middle schooler than it does for a college graduate. So
Hmm.
we take it in chunks, not day by day, of course, too, but we take things kind of in smaller chunks than in grand um,
I hear you.
grand visions.
I always ask this question to everyone and ask them, how would your best friend describe you to someone else? But I'm going to kind of twist this a little. How would your children describe you to another child?
To another child, okay.
To another
um,
child.
so my the first thing they would say absolutely is, because we've instilled this, is that dad's job is to keep them safe, and that's what they would say to anybody. How's dad? Well, he keeps me safe. um, they would also say my son would probably say, you know dad thing. He's strong. He helps me with my homework. um, he doesn't let me watch video games all the time. That's what my dad would say. My daughter would say that I have bad jokes, because I can she the dad joke is not, um, the typical dad joke and an 11-year-old girl don't mix right now. So, or maybe ever, but she, I, you can hear her eyes roll in the back of her head sometimes with some of the dumb jokes that I come up with. So.
Now, how does your wife? What would your wife? How would your wife describe you to someone that does not know you?
Uh, I'm the planner, right? I'm the one that I'm the one that plans the vacations and that sort of. I'm also the, she's much more of the, she takes care of the day-to-day stuff. She's the glue that takes it. So the I don't get into the day-to-day. It's not that I don't get into, she just handles it, so I don't have to. And is that fair? Nope. It's just the way we run, and we run pretty well. But I would say, loving, caring dad, the planner in me comes out with everything we do, the the list, the process. That's how she described me, and she probably agree with the jokes part of it too, the bad jokes. So,
So, what is one quality in you that you think um, that you excel at?
uh, I think it's taking a deep breath, right? And I think that, why is that a quality? And I think it is because I I get worked up just like everyone else, but I'm able to take that deep breath and take a step back before I act. Um, and that's not something that everyone has. I don't think. I think people sometimes fly off the handle, sometimes shut down when they get upset. That's easy to do too. Not everyone wants to fly off the handle, but some people will shut down and not communicate at all. Uh, I'm able to take that deep breath and before sending the email, before making the phone call, before making a decision. Um, you know, but don't get me wrong. I get aggravated just like everyone else on things. I can I can step back before I act.
So, would you say you're a calm person?
No, no,
No.
no. I'm a nerved up. Uh, I'm a ball of nerves. Everything's nothing happens fast enough for me. Right? It's not, and maybe that goes to the way we are. Everything where it's instant gratification type stuff. We have our phones at our fingertips, and we have, you know, um, we have YouTube. If you don't know how to fix something, you go to YouTube. You can probably find it within in 2 minutes. But
Mhm.
a lot of times, no, I'm a ball of nerves most of the time. I need to. That's where my wife and I balance each other out. Is she's the calm one.
So, in this generation that we're, the kids in this generation, what do you think they're lacking?
And that's a great question. And um, so two part. I can answer that in two parts. COVID took the social piece out of a lot of kids. When kids were home, um, we chose to keep our kids. So third and fifth grade for our kids last year, we chose to keep them home and do virtual school just because of the high numbers here in New York and COVID. But they took you can't go out and play. You couldn't go to the playground. You couldn't go to um, there weren't play dates and birthday parties like there used to be because places were closed and people were, you know, many people were being safe, right? Trying to be safe and with the unknown of COVID and everything. So that the social piece, that the last few years they've been lacking the social piece. Uh, and I um, in general, I think kids this generation are well, I think they're missing, and you hear it somewhere, but I think they're missing the opportunity that you don't have to go, you don't have to collect degrees like dad did to be successful. There's a lot of other ways, um, in a lot of other ways to be successful. And I think I don't know that kids are taking that stuff on right now. And whether it's because their parents aren't teaching it to them or they're just not interested. But um, I that's why I encouraged Abby to take on um, as some sort of hobby, and she took on crocheting, and she's making money doing it at 11. So that, but
Mm.
that's what I think is missing, that opportunity to do other things rather than the traditional track.
So if there's one thing that you could take away from the world right now, something negative in your eyes,
Yeah.
something negative in your eyes, what would it be?
Uh, Disease, chronic disease.
Um,
There's so much. I mean, again, there's wars going on. We watch the news. There's wars going on and attacks and everything. But I think, uh, you just don't. Losing a loved one to something you can't really control and from the inside out is, I think, is the hardest thing. So, disease that doesn't have a cure is what I would remove.
okay. I'm going to bring it back a little. When did you find out your son was autistic?
He was two, and just, yeah, he was two. Um,
And
and we
how?
found he had fewer words than what uh, the textbooks say, the pediatricians say, um, and he was starting the hand flapping that is typical with autistic kids. So we had him evaluated, and it was pretty clear.
And what have you done um, to help him along? What are some of the steps? Because I know that there's a lot of people that do have autistic children, and I know there's supposed to be an interview about Jabbie, but this is about Jabbie, and I think it'll also help other people too. So, what were the steps? You went to the doctors.
Yeah. So, I mean, the kind of the I don't know, the 30-second version of two to 10 is, we went to the doctors. We had to take some time to let it sink in. Um, and then we went into the learning stage. What does this mean? Um, and what does that mean for him with school, right? Because he was just about to turn 3. I'm trying. I know it was January because it was on my wife's birthday. Just trying to remember which birthday. If it was 2 or 3, um, that we found out that we went to the doctors. The So then it's learning, and then it was you learn, you start talking to other people that other parents, joining groups on Facebook and stuff like that. Uh, and then school became uh, the big question for us. Like, what does this mean for school? And we got him enrolled in a preschool program. All this time is moving on here. What didn't all happen right after the doctor, but as time moved on, we get him enrolled in a preschool with special education, and then after that, after he entered the public school district, um, I would say 40% of our time that isn't, well, I'll call it free time. 40% of our free time is advocating for his services and advocating for the district. Um, you know, we are well known in the school district from the administrators, the special education directors, the teachers, the superintendent, the principals. They all know us. They all know him, and that is what we have to do. That's what we do. We advocate for him to make sure that he's getting the right services, the right amount of services, the right teachers, the right everything. So that's been the process, and it's also so that's kind of like I'll call that the technical side, right? The learning, the softer side of that is just accepting it. There's no, I'm I'm not a doctor. I'm just a parent, and there's a lot of organizations out there that make a lot of money in fundraising and stuff, but that look for a cure. And we're not looking to cure anything. That's our son. That's the way he is. And if he didn't have autism, would some of the qualities that he have now change for the worse, right? And so we're not looking for a cure, but just accepting it. And the hardest part of accepting it is, he is a home. He'd rather be by himself. There's no doubt he's not a I want to go hang out with my friends type of person. Um, and you hear the stories of nobody going to birthday parties and stuff like that, and that's a 100% reality. That sometimes people don't go because he flaps his hands or whatever, and that's stuff we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But the acceptance part and just you know steamrolling the positive part of it with
Mhm.
everybody is the only way to go. Are
Now,
there downsides? Sure. I mean, it's a struggle. It's absolutely a struggle.
yeah.
It's he processes information different than we do, and you try. I think you're teaching your kids colors or whatever when they're young, and you, you're like, okay, this is red, this is blue, this is green, and if he didn't get it, it was tough at first because we didn't know any. This is how you teach somebody a color. Here's a red, here's orange, um, and it took a while to learn that he's going to process it differently, and we got to find a different way, and that
Right.
it's a struggle, and it's also fun sometimes because we get to do things differently than what. Obviously, he's in fourth grade; he knows his colors and stuff, but whatever the fourth grade equivalent is, we have to show him different ways, and sometimes we have to relate it to his um, the things that he's very into Mario and Angry Birds and Cuphead, um, and if sometimes like when we're helping him with his math, we have to put it in Mario terms, and then he'll get it. If there's a word problem that talks about you know how many points on a football field, um, he gets lost in the words. But if you use those same numbers and use reference to Mario or Cuphead or something that he likes, then he can solve it right away. So it's that learning process that
Hmm.
it's constant.
Now, let me ask you, your daughter, okay, it must be very hard for her too. How did you help your daughter? How did you explain it to your daughter so other people can?
Yeah, and I think that's exactly how we explain it, that he process. That he's going to think of things and process things differently than she does, and it's okay. Um, and she likes to be motherly, and we have to step that back a little bit sometimes because you know that's not her role in the family, of course, and uh, it shouldn't be. She shouldn't. Some of the stuff that she wants to take on at 11, that's not what an 11-year-old should have to worry about or be responsible for. Or so we have to. That's a balance we have, but she takes it really well, and uh, you know, if kids, she can explain it real well to her peers if they start, and so we're not worried. And if she just will completely walk away from somebody that starts to get too crazy about it or say things that aren't appropriate, so she can separate herself from that, which is awesome. I mean, she'll come home and be upset about it, but
Yeah,
in the moment she can be.
that's awesome. That really is. So you must have a lot of programs that he's in as well.
Uh, so yeah, we earlier on we joined that program, and uh, it just became. I don't think it's any different than I'll call it, non-autistic kids, the soccer mom type of mentality where you're just driving around. It got to be the same thing. It was just programs and stuff, and so we pared down a little bit. He does an exercise class now that helps him with his balance and helps him get going, and we do that. Both of our kids are tremendous swimmers, and we're swimming on the swim team, and that all kind of stalled out with COVID again, but it's all building back up. Um, I think I've learned that there's a lot of programs that try to write just like any classroom, right? They try to write a curriculum for everybody, and nobody's the same, especially those on the autism spectrum. There's no, um, I would say there aren't two kids that are the same. There are some characteristics that are the same, but so to have a curriculum written for everybody, even in these programs, um, the programs that insist on sticking to that curriculum and don't adjust to the individuals,
Hmm.
don't work. I don't think work. So we found, there are a lot of programs out there where people are like, I do this. This is the way I do it. If you like it, great. If not, too bad. We've kind of backed away from a lot of those. So,
All right. So what gives you the most joy in your life?
uh, most joy, I think, again, just seeing my kids succeed. There are things that I like, and that's kind of the larger life thing. That's the most joy, is watching the kids. You know, there are things that I enjoy. That I mean, they're my hobbies. That's what makes me me. But overall, the kids succeeding is the biggest joy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and not to and this is not a discount to my relationship with Emily either, my wife. We understand that there's a lot of relationships here in this house, right? There's her relationship, our relationship, her and I. There's her relationship with Abby, my relationship with Abby, her relationship with Adler, my relationship with Adler, and then how all five of us kind of have a relationship together. And we actively try to balance that out and understand that each one of those components is different and has different needs.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So what is one of your dreams for the future?
my dreams for the future, um, I don't know. Again, I don't look too far out.
Hmm.
Short term, midterm, I'll call it. It's just, um, I dream that, I hope, I guess it's not a dream, but more of a hope that, you know, my wife and I are healthy enough to make sure our kids at least get to be an adult, right? And then you get to become an adult, they can start making their own decisions, and that's, that by definition, I guess that's definition of adult. But that we continue to stay healthy enough, and that they continue to grow. So that's the biggest dream. Um, More far fetched stuff, I hope I hope everyone, uh, I hope there's a stop to all the negativity, all the negative stuff. Even though I know it probably won't happen, that would be the biggest dream. Just that people can live more stress free, and I think we'd all be happier if there was less stress all around.
Hmm.
So,
True. So a couple of years ago, was it a couple of years ago something happened to you, or was it last year that something happened to you, something major?
uh, so last July, I had a stroke in my living room, and it was scary. It was I couldn't talk. My right side of my body was felt like concrete, and you know the next thing I know, there's all these guys, ambulance and stuff, coming and rushing me away.
Hmm.
And it was, that's July of 2021. Uh, so because of COVID, nobody could come with me in the ambulance. Um, so I there's a lot of unknown there, and it was scary. That's scary. And I spent a couple days in the hospital and got treated and came home. But that was a scary event.
Did you have to regain your movement on that side, or because you were saying
Yes.
it felt like your body felt like lead?
Yeah. And so there's a drug that they can give you when they believe you're having a stroke. It's called TPA, and it's an IV thing, and it's supposed to abort strokes. And they call me. It worked. So I had full function of the right side of my body within 48 hours again,
Oh.
and you know, cognitively, I'd say I'm about 98% back. There's still some things I uh, um, that I struggle with, but I think nothing that anyone would ever notice out in public or anything like that. It's
Hmm.
really the only I notice it. My wife notices it. Even the kids don't notice it a lot of times. So,
That must have been very, very scary for all of you.
well, sure. I mean, that was, you know, I had to be. I mean, it was the you know kids had never really seen an ambulance in the driveway before, and um, I have no idea. I'm sure every imaginable scenario was going through my wife's
Right.
mind, and I was. For me, it was more of in the moment, like I don't know what's going on in the moment, right? That was probably the first time in since we had kids that the only thing I was thinking about at that time really was what's going on and why is my why is my arm, why can't I lift my arm, type of thing. There was no geez, I wonder how this is going to affect Abby or what. I couldn't. I wasn't at that level at that point. It was all emergency. See how this goes. So
Okay. So from there on, now I know that you went somewhere last week and tried to get some answers. So it's not like it happened to you and that was it. You've been on a quest to find out why.
yeah, that no one. I mean, I've seen every type of doctor you can imagine. If you were on the chats last week, I was in Boston, and some guy took my candy bar wrapper and licked it.
That was just odd.
But so I went to Boston. I was at Boston last week to Mass General Neurology. They're touted as one of the best neurology departments in the country,
Mhm.
and but so far, even so, almost a year now, no, uh, nobody can tell me why it happened. Nobody will even say, "Oh, you're stressed," or "You're ball of nerves," or nobody will. I do not have an answer as to why.
That
So
must be very, very frustrating for you.
it is because I don't want it to happen again. And
Right.
you everybody wants to fix things, right? I'm the same way. I want to fix things, and if there's a problem, I want to fix it. And I don't have a fix to this. I don't even know. I wish someone would tell me, okay, you need to be on the treadmill an hour more a day. You need to stop eating this food. You need to start eating more of this food. You need to take this medicine. I don't have, there isn't that fix. So that makes the unknown a little scary.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked over and Ronnie saying about that Rocco liquor. I have to tell you, in the middle of that, I think, what was it? I forgot where I was, but when you came in and said that in the chat, it was just like a halt. It was just so funny. And maybe that, you know what? And that was on your way back, right?
Yeah, I was waiting in the train station for my train to come back home, and
I bet you were just feeling like, what the hell or whatever. And then just seeing that, just like, maybe that's what you needed right at that moment.
oh, no, well, I mean, it was funny, but at that moment, that's not what I needed because that was it's. I think it's funnier now than when I was in pure shock when that happened at first.
Like, got your mind off of whatever you were thinking.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, all righty, guys. I'm going to open this up to the chat. Um, Anyone have any questions for Jabbie?
So I'm going to answer a question that you didn't ask that I thought you would ask, if that's okay.
100%.
So, where did Jabbie come from? Right. My name is
Oh,
Jason.
Jabbie.
My name is Jason. My business name is Jabbie and Jabbie's Treasures. But the day that our daughter was born is almost to the day that we started the business. So um, Jason, Abby, J is my daughter's name. ABBI is how we spell it. And then E, my wife's name starts with E, Emily. So that's where Jabbie's Treasures came in. Jabbie. And we just never changed it when my son was born to incorporate his name. But that's, and I go by either. People, especially in the YouTube community, people call me Jabbie, and that's fine just because that's what's there. But that's where that came from.
So, automatically, point for everyone. I thought Jabbie's Treasures was because he talked a lot.
No, no.
I guess not, but he doesn't. See, he's very reserved, very calm, laid back.
I've got my so I'm a ball of nerves. I've got my Sharpie here, and underneath the table, I'm clicking
You're
my
not a
Sharpie
ball of
open and close, but you
nerves.
can't. I cover that up pretty well. So
I mean, I really would like to like dig in some more.
you can dig in
Yeah.
whenever, however you want.
Okay. So, Bobby, he grew up in New York. So, Jabbie, how did it feel when your parents got divorced when you were 6?
That's a long time ago. Um, I don't know. I think it was expressed to me that that was the right thing, and that's what I believed. So that was the right thing for the family, and that's what I believed, and that's kind of what I've gone with ever since. So
But as a child at 6, having your dad there and then not having him there, that must have been very hard for you.
probably, but I mean, and this is something I think about with my kids all the time. You don't remember a lot when you're 6. From like, I don't remember much from when I was 6. I don't remember much when I was 10. I can remember odd things about, yeah, there was this one birthday party or something, but I don't remember the details. And I think it probably was difficult, but that's not something that I don't remember that too much. So,
You don't remember. Do you, was that your first memory, the one that you were just talking about? Do you remember your first memory as a child?
uh, do I remember my first memory? It seems like a loaded question's in there somewhere. Um, I don't know. I have what I think are memories of, even younger than 6, but they're just sporadic, not any long term, nothing. Couldn't give you in detail about anything. So
Now, as a child, okay, as a young child, what made the biggest impact on you as a young child?
my mom did. I mean, just uh, pretty much taking on both roles of,
Hmm.
and that's 100% the biggest impact. That she, whatever the reasons were that the divorce happened, right?
Hmm.
She didn't let that affect me, and just trudged ahead to make sure I was okay, and doing things. So my mom, absolutely.
Do you have other siblings?
Nope, I'm an only child.
Oh, you're an only child.
Yep,
Oh, he's spoiled only child.
absolutely right. 100%.
He's spoiled with love. Did your mom ever remarry?
Nope,
No.
nope,
Oh, wow. And have you ever been married before, Emily?
nope.
No, just Emily.
Just Emily.
And how old were you when you got married?
Oh boy. uh 30, 33.
Wow, 33.
Yep.
Reason being, I mean, some people do wait until they're a little, you know,
No,
was there a reason why?
reason I waited till 33.
Hmm.
Well, I was in 2 relationships before that just never worked out. That probably could have been marriages, if you would, but they didn't. And I say
Hmm.
thankfully they didn't end up in marriage, and you know that's just how the timing worked out. So,
So how did you meet Emily?
I knew that was coming next. We met online. We are a product of Yahoo Personals, and
Really?
so
And you guys were only 3 hours away.
we were, yeah, at the time, yeah. Yeah, I was here in Albany, and she, yeah. And funny story, because what you can with um, those sites, you can pay, right, and then you
Hmm.
can communicate with people. You can type an actual message, or you can um, not pay, and then you get like 5 or 6 canned responses that you can send, like "Hey there," or "I like your photo," or random things. And um, I had said I'm not. After a while of doing that, I said I'm not gonna respond to those canned messages, right? If people aren't willing to take this seriously, then I'm not going to respond to them. And Emily responded with contacted me with one of those canned messages, and I responded, so it worked out. But
And how long was it before you got married?
uh, about a year, only a year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Very nice. Ronnie's saying, I would have never thought of you being a ball of nerves since you seem so laid back and calm.
Take that deep breath, Ronnie. That's what it is. Take that deep breath.
So, again, I know we talked about it in the beginning, but I just want to hype up the awareness for tomorrow's show at 7 p.m. This is very, very important. For people, there's so many people that have children that are autistic. You hear of it so much now, and I just literally, I want everyone to definitely go there tomorrow night at 7. If you don't have a child that's autistic, it's okay. Just go and listen and see what's going on. It's very important because you might not have one, but somebody else that you know does. And you're going, if there is a takeaway to make you a better person and to understand more so. Jabbie's YouTube link is in the bottom of the description bar. If you guys are not subscribed to him, please subscribe to him. And also, his link will be in his YouTube for tomorrow. Make sure you hit that button for a reminder for tomorrow night. I'm gonna play. If no one's seen it, I'm gonna play the intro for it, and then we'll be right back.
Thank you for playing that again. So again, tomorrow's an interview with the Bring on the Spectrum owner and founder, kind of give them some awareness to. Yes, it's in the capital region here in Albany, so someone in across the country probably won't benefit from their services because that just wouldn't make sense. But the picture there towards the end of that intro, her daughter's climbing the ladder, and my son's the one laying upside down on the mat. I'm sure we're gonna talk about autism in general, but we're gonna start out talking about bots, Bring on the Spectrum, and what it is and what they offer for the community, and why is a big thing. Why was it important to open that gym, and so I saw it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't run in the family. There no one else that we know close relations has any developmental issues like that we could trace to this. I also think that if there was, when we were kids, it might not have been called the same thing. It wasn't known as well. So, but no, there's no history like that we can trace back. So.
And for those that are listening and not reading the chat, that was Countess April. She was asking, does autism run in your family? Ronnie says, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I know several that have autistic children. Now, let me ask you.
Well, let me just, before you do that, you just popped up Robin, Real Creative Studios. I want to thank her for that introduction, and that was awesome. So thank you, Robin, for putting that together for us.
Awesome. Are they linking it to genetic?
They don't know. They don't really know. No. and that kind of goes to the acceptance piece of, we're not diving down into blood tests and
Mm-hmm.
chromosomes and all that other stuff to find out. We're not looking to cure it, right? So we don't need to know why, unless it starts causing other issues, and then, but we're not looking to find out why. We're just
Trying to make it better.
trying to make it better.
Yeah. And I think by bringing awareness is huge.
Right.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge. We have Miss Joni's here. Hey, Miss Joni.
Miss Joni.
And on that note, I think we're going to say, I hope you have a great day.
Yes.
And we're going to be going, and I might see you guys all later. But Jabbie, anything else going on your channel besides tomorrow night?
Not at the moment. My eBay store and stuff focuses on pins. I'm a pin seller. I have thousands of pins I sell other things too, but at some point I may want to do quick themed pinned auctions, and I'm going to hold an auction on my site here one of these days. I may just pop up and do it and see what happens. It's actually, I think if JJ's still here, he said something the other day that was like, don't think about it too far, because you'll talk yourself out of it. And I don't remember what the context was or anything like that, but he said that, and that's absolutely right. I kind of live by that too. It's like I could talk myself out of anything. So just just got to do it. So I may just someday, if you're following me, you may see a pop-up auction, and I'll just keep putting out content as I can. I've learned that I don't like editing pre-recorded videos at all, so I struggle with that a little bit. And so you won't see too many what sold type videos from me in my reselling part. That's not. Mm-hmm. I don't like editing, so I want to do more live, more interactive type things.
Okay, so I was going to go, but now I'm going to ask you this question. What makes you tick? What annoys you? Ronnie's asking.
What? So, I mean, my biggest thing. So I think one of the things that bothers me the most is when people, let's use the YouTube community as an example, right? Mm-hmm. If you expect something, YouTube auctions, if you expect something from your buyer, then you should be able to provide it as well, right? If you want someone to respond to an email within a week or a day or whatever, but you don't respond to their email that in a week or a day or whatever, or in a reasonable amount of time, that I guess that bothers me. But that's a business sense that bothers me. That's from the business sense that bothers me. If you kind of give what you expect back, and you'll get it. So that's one. People that make decisions that before they have information, and that I had to learn a lot because of the autism piece. Don't make decisions with. It bothers me if you jump into decisions without having some information to back it up. Yeah, you can overthink it, but you should also make an educated decision, not just a wild decision that could come back to haunt you. Other than that, like I say, I'm a ball of nerves, but I try to take that deep breath before I act. So,
well, you don't look like you're a ball of nerves. That I can tell you. You're a good actor.
maybe I am. Yeah.
No, you don't. I keep saying we're gonna go, but I keep thinking of these different things. I don't want to say stay at home dad, because you're working. You're on eBay, you're doing YouTube, you do work, but you're working from home, correct?
Right. So you are correct in saying I am a stay-at-home dad. That is my full-time job. That is the, I worked for a year. I got all those degrees that we talked about. I worked in those fields for years, and we decided it was my time. I left, and now I am the stay-at-home dad. So kids have to come home from school. I take them to school every day. I bring them home it's that's what that's so yes, I'm a full-time dad. I i do resell, I do YouTube, I have a I don't have all my eggs in one basket for anything. And that takes, I mean, all of that stuff is a 70-hour a week work. That's on top of being stay-at-home dad. So there's 70 hours a week of that other stuff too um, that happens. But yes, stay-at-home dad. If I had to list it on a form somewhere, that's what I would put as my job. So
Do you like it?
I love it. Wouldn't change it for the world. Um, I've been asked, I've been asked by different people to come join them, and um, you know, that's not something I'm looking to do. So, I as long as people keep selling stuff that I can resell, I don't see myself ever going back to a 9 to 5 type of job.
So leave us with something positive. What would you like to see from us?
Uh, so I don't know if what would I like to see from you. I think and this is something that someone taught me a long time ago that I've lived by, is that you're the captain of your own ship. Uh, make your own decisions. Don't let anyone, whether it's medical care or your kids or your job or anything like that. You're the captain of your own ship. You'll be much happier you know, if you kind of embrace that. In my opinion, anyway, you'll be much happier if you embrace that. Um, you may need advice from others and whatever, but ultimately it's your decision, and you gotta live with it. So that I live every day. I say that almost every day to myself when there's people want to make decisions for me or us, and I'm like, I'll just say, no, that's we're gonna do it our way. And um, again, you're the captain of your own ship. You gotta don't let anyone else run your life. That's the
On that note, thank you.
party at Jabbie's. Come on over.
Yep, everyone, let's go to New York, Patty at Jabbie's, and we'll pick up Rhonda on our way there because you're pretty close to Rhonda, right? Or no?
Less than a half hour, yeah.
Jesus. Rhonda's so lucky that I'm not a half hour away from her. I'd be at her house every day.
You're right. Maybe she is, Susana. Maybe having anybody at my house every day I wouldn't like that.
All righty, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Jabbie, I so appreciate you.
Thank you
Looking
for having
forward
me.
to tomorrow night. Absolutely. And can't wait to see the auctions on your channel as well.
We appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. I'm going to leave you with a short. I know I've played it, but I'm telling you. Did you really think I was leaving without saying angel tickle toes and stars and back? Bye.